Hi Gemini, this is your horoscope for October 2023. Thanks for joining me. It's a pleasure to be with you today. October is a really important month. We've got two eclipses happening. An eclipse is either a full moon or a new moon that is interrupted, and the effects are felt for up to 6 months. So they're really significant. I'll have a look at what those are. The first thing that's important here in October for you guys, Gemini, is that on the 5th of October, Mercury, the communication planet, it moves into Libra. So you as a Gemini, you are ruled by Mercury. So when Mercury is direct or in retrograde, it really has an impact on you in terms of communication, how easily that goes. It's in Libra and it is direct at the moment. So that's fabulous news for you in terms of your relationships, connecting with other people, overcoming hurdles in your relationships, and really being able to compromise and to achieve something as a unit. So it's not just you speaking your truth, but being able to listen to other people and to find some sort of middle ground. So that really, really supports your relationships all month. You've got, at the beginning of the month here, on the 5th, you've got Mercury in Libra, the Sun, you're transiting midheaven, which is work, Mars, ambition, and your South Node in Libra. And all of those make it very, very easy for you to connect with other people, to work together, to be empowered, to find what it is you're looking for, to make things more beautiful and richer and prosperous and abundant as a team. But it also serves you when it comes to romantic relationships, meeting new people, meeting new friends, anything that involves relationships, really. On the 9th of October, we have Venus, the planet of love and beauty and creativity. That goes into Virgo, and it's obviously at 0 degrees because it's just changing from Leo to Virgo. Venus in Virgo, I often associate with the nurse, because Venus is what I love to do, right? And Virgo is about creating order and taking practical action steps in order to make things better or more reliable or more solid. So Venus is in Virgo here at the very bottom of your chart. And again, I really think that it will help you in your relationships. But the one thing I want to warn you about, Gemini, is that here around the 9th of October, I get the sense that you're very good at relationships, but you have a tendency to kind of bite your tongue. So if you discover that something is off, or I'm getting a red flag here, I don't really know what to do. Like if you've met someone new and you go on a couple of dates and stuff, and you hear something that's like, this could be a little iffy, or it could turn out either great or not. But it's so early in the relationship that you figure, well, it's the third date. I'm not going to go into this whole... I'm not going to try and unearth all of this. I'm just going to see how it plays out. That often is an issue because you've seen the red flags. You haven't reacted to them. So then you continue with the relationship and the red flags become like red towers. It becomes an actual problem. So the only thing I would counsel you about here at the beginning of October is, if you do pick up something here in a relationship that you're kind of pursuing or exploring, don't dismiss it, pay attention to it. And if it's unacceptable to you, please do speak up. Because Venus in Virgo means that your assessment of the situation is very likely to be right. So don't doubt yourself in that sense. The next day, on the 10th of October, we have Pluto in Capricorn. Pluto is an outer planet. It's the planet of transformation and change, and that goes direct. So it's the only one of the outer planets that are now direct. Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, they're all still in retrograde. So with Pluto now moving forward, you're able to affect change, particularly in the way that you work with other people, the groups you belong to, how open your life is as such. So for instance, and I'm using an extreme example here, if you live as a complete hermit, you don't have any friends, you don't belong to any clubs, no hobbies, no colleagues, nothing, and you don't want that situation anymore, it's a good time to reconnect or to join a group or to explore some sort of a hobby, to work differently or to work at something differently. It will connect you with other people. So for you, Gemini, this is a really easy month to reconnect and to expand your world in terms of how many people are in it. And just as a sidebar, all the personal planets, they are direct. So Mercury, your ruler, is direct, so no issues when it comes to communication. Mars, your drive and what you want, is also direct, so no issues there. And Venus is not only direct, but it's also in Virgo. So I want to love, I want to express myself, and Virgo allows me to do that in a practical sense, or it allows me to really pick up on lies that I'm being told on this date, so that I don't run into problems later on, right? So Gemini is hard to be fooled here in October. On the 12th of October, we've got Mars, the planet of masculinity and drive and sex and intensity. That goes into Scorpio. And I don't think you're so interested in experiencing the intensity in a physical sense so much by another person. I think what suddenly happens for you is that you examine your circumstances in your life and the structure of your life, and you're like, oh my God, this is how I feel about it. I was so undecided. I was in limbo. I had no clue. And now it's like right here, and I really get what I want to change and what I'm happy with and what I'm not happy with. So Mars in Scorpio really allows you to identify the parts of your life that function and those that don't function. And then Venus in Virgo will allow you to throw out the things that no longer function without any sentimental issues whatsoever. So if something doesn't work for you, resolve to immediately jump on that and change it as soon as you see it, and you'll be laughing by the end of this month, because those changes are meant to be made. On the 14th of October, we have this big important thing happening now. We have a new moon in Libra. So the new moon is when the sun and the moon conjunct. The moon goes black and it pulls energy in to recharge itself for its next cycle. But this new moon is interrupted because it's a solar annular eclipse. So the moon is in between the earth and the sun, and the moon covers the sun, but not fully. It's small and it kind of goes in front of the sun, but it leaves a ring of fire around it. So it's all this Libra energy pulled into your system, and then it's interrupted, urging you, like it's like a slow burn. It's like a slow release kind of tablet that you take. And it's all about, I want to create new connections. I want to be around other people. I want to speak and listen and engage, basically. If I want a romantic relationship, it's a great time. Basically, it's about thinking how you can connect yourself with people, places, and things, and to no longer be on your own, not to be an island by yourself. And that then continues early into next year. So any single Geminis, if you're single and looking, October is going to be really good for you. On the 22nd of October, we have Mercury, the communication planet and your ruler, going into Scorpio. And from this point onward, nothing is going to get past you. Even if you miss something intellectually by reading it or skipping it or not listening or something, on an intuitive level, you're going to pick up on most things. So if you're working as a psychic or a healer, or you've been interested in the occult or the spiritual side of things, but you don't have much experience, from the 22nd onwards, it's really a good idea to delve into that, because you'll be able to acquire so much meaning and understanding. Think about Scorpio as diving into a pool, getting to the bottom and picking up the lost diamond earring, and bringing the lost diamond earring to the surface and returning it to the owner. Scorpio is about taking something difficult and transforming it and altering it and amending it into something that's light and that works. So anything that doesn't quite make sense will make sense. On the 24th, we've got the sun going into Scorpio, so happy birthday, Scorpios. But for you guys, Gemini, the sun is what you're striving towards, right? So the sun moving into Scorpio, again, my intuition is really, really important, and I'm going to include my feelings and my insights into any information that I'm looking at and that I'm studying and learning, because my intuition is just as informative as a library or the book that I'm reading. So please don't dismiss your own senses at the end of the month. They will guide you and really help you. On the 28th of October, we've got the full moon in Taurus. Again, it's interrupted because it's a partial lunar eclipse. So the moon is partially covered again. So both of those partially cover the sun and the moon. So it's not a full blackout. It's kind of like a break before you continue, and it builds your energy in a strange way. So this full moon in Taurus, very interesting, because Taurus is Earth, right? It happens for you in a part of your chart that is very spiritual. And again, I think it speaks to your sun in Scorpio that you're able to look beyond the surface of things to get to the real, true core meaning. So from like the last week of the month, Geminis, you become really psychic detectives. And if things don't make sense, look at them at the end of the month and use your intuition and the information to create meaning. You'll be very satisfied with what you come up with. So that's what I get for you in October. I hope you have a wonderful month. If you would like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, click on book your reading to audio reading with me. And in my personal readings, the astrology, I draw up a chart based on your place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth. And it really shows me everything about you. Life purpose, strengths, weaknesses, what's kind of destined in career and relationships and finance. And where you have free will and where you can change things and transcend what you've been kind of given. It's really interesting. So if you want me to have a look at your birth chart, please do get in touch via my website, gregoryscott.com. Have a fabulous month. Check out some of my other videos, and I'll speak to you soon. All the best.